Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the December love reading for the sign of Capricorn. Alright, so one of my watchers left me a comment asking for Capricorn to come up next, and here we are. If you have cross watchers, if you've checked out some of my other readings, the water signs and the fire sign December readings are up. They were all fairly intense, so let's just see what yours is going to be like, Capricorn. Taurus is already up. Now, December is a period this year, this December anyway, 2019 is going to be a heavy period for everyone, regardless of your sign, really, because of the various planetary aspects. And of course, you got to go to astrology channel to get more info on that. I'm not an astrologer. However, we know that it's going to be fairly intense for most people, right? Abundance is coming in, blessings are coming in, toxic situations or toxic energies are being purged, right? With or without your help, basically. I mean, right now a lot of things are happening almost out of our control. But let's go ahead and see what it's all about for you, my lovely Capricorn. My Venus is in Capricorn, so I do resonate with some Capricorn energy in my chart. Straight out, we have the Sun covered by the Four of Swords. All right. At the top, conscious, we have 8 of Pentacles, and at the bottom, we have a 10 of Pentacles. You come into the month with a Knight of Wands, and you leave the month with a Lovers. Interesting. Your attitude toward your love life and what greets you, Knight of Pentacles and Hermit, your hopes and dreams and your fears and your outcome for the month. Wow, excuse me, very nice indeed. All right, bottom of the deck we have 7 of Cups. So 7 of Cups, interesting. Let me talk about this first. 7 of Cups talks about delusional thinking, pie in the sky, fairy tale, wishing, daydreaming, right? Being unrealistic about your desires or what it is you'd like to have in life. And oftentimes these unrealistic goals are goals that really don't make us happy at all. 7 of Cups has been coming out for a lot of the readings. And I think a lot of us during this period are going to be waking up to a little bit of this delusional thinking. I think that all of us have been holding on to. It's time to strip the fairy tale and get the reality back into our lives. This is not to say that we're not to believe in dreams or wishes or anything like that, but it is to say that we need to be grounded and realistic and intentional about the things that we choose to bring into our lives. This is a 7 card, and of course you round out the December period with the 17. So let's get right into your center card and energy, Capricorn. You start off this month with a huge amount of clarity and confidence. Okay, you have the Sun. The Sun is beautiful energy that comes in for December, Capricorn. All will be revealed. Certainly with regard to a love relationship, a lot of clarity will come in, confidence will come in, and reaffirmations. You are covered with a 4 of Swords energy, and 4 of Swords really talks about being grateful for what you have and trying to maintain it, right? And so therefore also being very, very strategic and careful about the moves that you make and about the things that you say, right? Capricorn, you are at this period, certainly with regard to your love life, it could be that you have a particular relationship with someone and it's just up in the air. You're really not sure what the next step is, but December brings with it that Sun energy will bring the clarity that you need to make the next step, to maintain the stability. Now we're going to come back to this as I get deeper into the reading. Your conscious position and your unconscious position. Your conscious position, you have an 8 of Pentacles, and in the unconscious, you have a 10 of Pentacles. So right now, you are working very hard. And this is one of the things that I've noticed for the December readings, that there is a lot of Pentacle energy wrapped up with our love lives, our love relationships, our connections. Our abundance level, our status level, our happiness with regard to our financial and career ambitions are having a huge impact on our love relationships right now, right? Our connections. With that Eight of Pentacles, you're working very, very hard. You're being extremely disciplined. You're putting up a lot of sort of boundaries to make sure that people don't overstep them, because you're trying to remain focused on really achieving a certain mastery in something, right? This mastery is going to be in your career or your business or your financial area. But more than anything, you are just really doubling down on this. And in the back of your mind, you are hoping that this will bring you completion with regard to not only your finances and career, but with regard to your love life and to your relationships. Ten of Pentacles talks about wealth coming in on all levels. You know, 10 is completion. The circle is complete. And with 10 of Pentacles, we talk about experiencing wealth and blessings in our relationships with people and understanding how lucky and happy we are really to have them. This is really sort of, I'm going to say for some of you Capricorn, this is a period where, December period, I'm going to say for some of you, this is certainly a period where you are trying to make a dream come true for you and a love connection, right? And that dream is based on your ability or your either your ability or the ability of you to complete sort of a particular task with regard to your job. Some of you may be working very hard to get a new place for you and your lover, or you and your connection. You may be trying to bring money in or bring status in some way to support this relationship, Capricorn. And the relationship itself, the connection that you have, is a really good, strong connection. However, I'm going to say you may not actually be with your partner. The connection is there. The feeling is there. You know you love each other, but you may not actually be with each other. And this is what I'm feeling with this Pentacles energy, that right in December, this is a reading for a Capricorn who is trying to make everything around him or her, his environment, conducive for this relationship, right? It could very well be that you simply don't have the financial status right now to be in a relationship, but it's what you want. You could be, for instance, in a long distance relationship with someone, and you're working very hard to make a home so that they can come. You may be dealing with immigration issues that are separating you, or you may be in the military. It may be something to do perhaps with what you do for a living, or a job or a business that may be separating you in some way. But you are the one who's working very, very hard to make sure this connection can sort of manifest in the real, in the material world. Sun brings in the answers that you need to do that. And you're certainly searching for the answers with that Four of Swords. Knight of Wands and the Lovers. Knight of Wands talks about being extremely ambitious and enthusiastic, wanting to make an effort and with a particular goal. You come into December on fire, Capricorn. You know what you want to do. You know what you're trying to accomplish, and you know that it is doable, right? You have all the confidence in the world. You know you can do it, and you can do it, Capricorn. There's absolutely no indication here with this reading at all that you won't accomplish your objective. You're coming out of this period with the Lover's card. And the Lover's card is quite interesting because with the Lover's card, we talk about duality and opposites coming together in one, as one. Two halves coming together as one. And again, I'm going to say for some of you, you're going to round out this month having your lover right next to you, having your person with you. If you've been separated, you won't be separated by the end of December. You at least will be seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. You understand, certainly, this is a strong reading as well for understanding, Capricorn, the amount of work that you need to put in. I'm going to say for some of you Capricorns who are really very much about your career and your ambition, now it feels as though your love connection it's almost as if for you Capricorn, I'm going to say, if for a very long time your career has been sort of your main focus, your main sort of drive that has your full heart, right? Because Capricorns are indeed extremely hardworking and really about their coin and their career. It's almost as if all of that energy now that you're putting into your work You're putting into the work not for the objective of accomplishing this work, but for the objective of accomplishing this love connection the way you want it. Everything you ever put into your job and your career before, when that was the only important thing in your life, has now transmuted into a vehicle for what now is the most important thing in your life, which is the love connection. Okay, some of you have met somebody and you know that this is a once-in-a-lifetime connection. It's almost as if everything you've been working for up until this time was in preparation for you to be in this love connection. You come into this month with a Knight of Pentacles energy towards your love life. And again, it's all goal-oriented. You have a particular goal that you're trying to achieve. I think for some of you, you may indeed be wanting to get married to someone, but you just don't feel like you're ready. You just don't feel like you have the money yet. You don't feel like everything is prepared, right? And this is really your ultimate aim. And so with this Knight of Pentacles attitude, you won't be you won't be stopped. You won't be slowed down in any way. The Knight of Pentacles is the most methodical and goal-oriented knight in the deck. He can be slow and take some time to arrive, but he absolutely always arrives at his destination. You're met with Hermit energy, and I think that for a large part of December, you're still going to continue to be alone in this endeavor. I think for a lot of you, if you are already in a love connection with someone, again, there's going to be distance still there. But the confidence that everything will work out is strong. This is not a question of whether or not it will happen. It's just a question of when it will happen. For those of you who are not in a particular connection or don't already have your eyes on a particular love interest, this will come into you. A love interest will come into you, but again, it won't happen until towards the end of December when you have completed when you are not even completed, I'm going to say, but when you are further into completing the task that you've set for yourself. Again, in the back of your mind, your ultimate aim is to have that love connection that lasts forever, to have that wealth. Some of you may have woken up to the fact that you have been wealthy financially, but you have done that at the sacrifice to a certain degree of a deeper connection. And again, in the back of your mind, you want that deeper connection to round out your wealth, to round out the feeling of being a whole and complete person. Lovers, again, does talk about becoming whole, but becoming whole in a connection with someone, and you desperately do desire that, Capricorn. Now, your hopes and fears and your hopes and dreams and your fears are in this position. And so it's the same card as the High Priestess. So again, this is quite interesting because the High Priestess, she talks about a high level of intuitive ability and self-confidence, but she's extremely cagey and she really doesn't give anything away. All right, she's the keeper of the secret to life in a lot of ways, but she won't tell you what it is. She can't tell you what it is because the secret is only learned through the experiencing, right? It's one of those things, the secret to success. It's not a secret. It's hard work. You know what I mean? It's like everybody wants to find that magic pill, but there is no magic pill. There is no one who can just tell you what to do. You have to live it, experience it to understand it, and the High Priestess talks about that. And so in a lot of ways, I think for some of you, Capricorn, you're really resonating highly this month with a lot of self-esteem about bringing in your lover. But yet at the same time, you also fear that because I think for some of you, you fear also the fact that you may be wrong. Am I wrong about this? I feel this is coming in, but you may be doubting yourself, right? The thing with intuition, intuitive ability and self-confidence really go hand in hand because it's when we begin to listen to our intuitive abilities, when we listen to our inner voice, and we follow that with confidence, that reaffirmation comes into our life. Sun is reaffirmation. When the reaffirmation comes into our lives that inner voice was correct, our self-esteem gets a boost. Our self-confidence gets a boost. But oftentimes people are very afraid to really listen. They may be afraid or even hesitant to listen to that little voice inside of themselves because a lot of times that voice is telling you to do something that you really don't want to do, like let go, right? Or try harder, or overcome some ego issues to get to the root of a situation. Oftentimes ego will come in the way of you truly listening to the real inner voice inside you. And so this is why a lot, we say, oh, well, it's so easy, just listen to your voice. Well, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. If you're in a love connection that you really, really want, that to work, and your voice, your intuition is telling you this isn't going to work, oftentimes people are going to not listen to that. They're going to sort of shoo that voice away because they don't want to face up to it. There's no good listening to your intuition. Excuse me. It's no good listening to your intuitive voice if you're only going to listen to it when it tells you what you want to hear, right? And that's a really tricky situation because ego comes into it, and a lot of us have to admit that we're wrong about something, or that our ego is in the way. And I have to say, even with some of the most so-called spiritually inclined people, the level of egotistical behavior is astounding. Right? The amount of times that the ego will get into the way of common sense is absolutely astounding. So in this way, I'm going to say to you, Capricorn, yes, your voice is really, really increasing. Your intuitive ability is really, really increasing. And you are riding high in your confidence, but there's a doubt there, and you fear that. Interestingly enough as well, I'm going to say some of you have been having an unrealistic view of your love life or the relationship that you're trying to call in with this Seven of Cups. And again, the High Priestess this could very well be one of the reasons why she's in that position, because your intuitive ability is telling you this is nonsense. That, for some of you, this unrealistic dream that you have, this kind of pie in the sky sort of delusional idea of how this relationship will either come in or flourish, is at odds with your intuitive voice. That you're being unrealistic, yet you want it so strongly. And so in a lot of ways, you're also afraid of the fact that you're wrong. You're afraid of the fact of coming down to the ground. And I'm not saying that you're afraid, Capricorn, that you're scared or that you don't have the strength to do it. All I'm saying is that this is the nature of sort of the doubt that may come into you this December. And a lot of it is going to be this revelation, the reaffirmation, but also the clarity that the sun brings is going to burn away some of this unrealistic thinking and definitely bring you closer to what your intuitive voice is telling you. One of the reasons for that also is this Four of Swords energy, because you are at the same time that the seven, and remember this, Seven of Cups is at the bottom of the deck, so it's not a pervasive sort of energy, but it is there. Four of Swords, though, does remind you to be grateful and to take everything step by step. And I think the combination of this and the clarity that the sun brings is going to help you vanquish the Seven of Cups and get to your ultimate goal, which is your true dream. Again, the star talks to us about intentionally working towards our dream for our lives, our ambition for our lives, and doing it in such a way that every step you make, the decisions that you make, the way you communicate, all of that is towards the ultimate goal of achieving that, right? It's towards achieving your aim for yourself, for your life. 17, the star, is about wish fulfillment, wishing on a star, but not just wishing on a star, but doing the things that you need to do to make it possible, right? Continually pouring your inspiration and your desire into the ground to continually sort of manifest the steps that you need to manifest to slowly get to your dream. And the star doesn't talk about, sort of dreams that are unrealistic. This is the true dream we have for our lives. And I think in a lot of ways, Capricorn, the Seven of Cups unrealistic way of thinking about certain relationships is really going to be vanquished in December because of the light of the sun, the light of the sun, the clarity that comes in, and the increased high level of intuitive ability that's coming into you. Remember, the Hermit is what you're greeted with, and there will be a sense of walking alone for a little bit longer in December. But trust me when I tell you, your outcome is star. It's manifesting your dreams. And and a lot of you, I'm going to say, may even be manifesting the dream. Let me put it to you this way. Sometimes we have dreams for our lives that are unrealistic, and deep down in the back of our minds, we know they're unrealistic, right? But then also at the same time, then we don't have to fail, right? Sometimes it can be scarier, to try to really go after your real dream for your life, because there is a chance you can get it. There's a chance you can accomplish it, but there's also a chance that you don't accomplish it. And that's scarier than not accomplishing something that you never wanted, if you know what I mean, right? I think in a lot of ways, a lot of us will hide behind our daydreams because the real dreams we have for our lives, or the reality of our lives, sometimes is just too difficult to deal with, right? Can be too painful. The thought of failing at something that we really truly desire is much more painful than failing at something we knew we were never going to have, okay? So let's pull some clarifiers. This is a very straightforward reading, Capricorn. Some of the other readings were very deep and had a lot of conflicting energies. But this is very straightforward. You're working towards manifesting a love connection in the material world, definitely with somebody. And I'm going to say for some of you, this is definitely about having a distance between you and your lover, but desperately wanting them to be back in your arms. And again, I'm going to say for some of you, this is definitely a long distance relationship that you're working very, very hard financially to try to make happen. Prince of Swords, Three of Cups, Ace of Swords, and there's your Eight of Pentacles again. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is Mars and Aries energy, so we're talking about really going out and getting it, going for it, you know what I mean? And again, this is what I said with this Knight of Wands. But let's go into the clarifiers one by one. Eight of Pentacles, covered by Prince of Swords. So again, this is a really sort of like all hands on deck. The way is clear. Prince of Swords in the Thoth deck is the same as the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords brings with him clarity. He cuts away all of the obstacles that are in the way. Swords is a mental card and a communication card. So what I mean to say is that the Prince of Swords brings with him solutions. He brings with him clear thinking, logical thinking. That sword, that sword of the mental and that sword of honest communication really sort of cuts away at any obstacles that are in his way to achieving his goal. Okay. And again, with you this December, Capricorn, the clarity that comes in, you know absolutely what you need to do. If up until this point you didn't know what to do, or the situation seemed almost impossible or hopeless, again, an example would be if you were dealing with an immigration issue, or you were dealing with some kind of issue. And by the way, I've been there. I was married to a European man, and I had to bring him to America. And so I understand the nature of these issues. But that's just an example. If that was the case, and up until now or up until December, you just didn't know how to get over your obstacles, everything will be made clear to you in December. And it's going to come to you in the form of you just, oh, this is what I need to do. Oh, that is what I need to do, right? Ten of Pentacles is covered with Three of Cups. Again, you have a sense of abundance and wealth in your personal relationships, and your relationships with your family and friends. And in the back of your mind, this is what you want. You want a coming together again. You want a celebration. Some of you may be going home to family this December with your lover. And it may be some time since you've seen everyone. This really feels very strongly like a reunion of sorts, right? A reunion with family and with this love connection. Very, very strong, and certainly celebrating this union and this reunion, as it were, in December. Very strong sort of tribe energy here. Very strong energy of being with your people, being with your tribe, and having your lover with you. Ace of Swords, again, victory comes in with that Knight of Wands. Just like I said before, Two of Wands, you have a drive coming into December, and this Ace of Wands talks about a victory coming in. The victory comes in because, again, you have the solutions that you need to fix a particular problem in this area. You have all of the solutions, all of the ideas, all of the clear-headed thinking that you need to come up with what you need to do to get this completion, to get this reunion or union, as it were, with a lover. All right. Now, Eight of Pentacles has come out to clarify this, lovers, and this is one of the best aspects, really. Again, it's your prudence, it's your discipline, it's the time that you're putting into manifesting your work, career, business goals that will ultimately bring this love connection back into existence, or bring this love connection to the level where you want it to be, right? It could be, and again, lovers talks about understanding that to be with someone, to have a successful relationship, there needs to be work. There needs to be work you put in, and, opposites attract, but, if we don't come together with the feeling of mutual respect and understanding, which is very much Four of Wands energy, right? If you don't come together with your lover with that energy, you don't understand and appreciate the opposites that you both bring, as well as the love and the connection, then you won't make it. Right? You simply won't make it. There are certain things in people that we just have to accept will not be the same as they are in us. Oftentimes, a strong soulmate or twin flame connection is with someone who mirrors you in a way. There are areas in your life that need work, and they have the answers, and vice versa. This is what we call the two halves of the whole. Remember, lovers is associated with Gemini energy. Okay, so we're talking about two beings, two people coming together who are the same yet different, equal yet unique, right? And the understanding of that and the work that needs to put into that, more than anything, Eight of Pentacles, especially coming out twice as a reaffirmation, reminds us that work and effort and discipline is needed. Sometimes we have to restrict ourselves. We can't just go around the world just doing whatever we want to do and just behaving in any way you want to behave because you feel that's freedom. That's not freedom. You do have a responsibility to yourself and to the ones that you love to put the work in, to put the real work in. And sometimes it's going to be hard. Ultimately, though, you end out this month with a very strong intuitive ability, a very strong level of self-confidence, and your wish very, very much closer to being manifest, if it doesn't manifest by the end of December. Beautiful reading, strong reading, great reading for a Capricorn out there who is right now really working his ass or her ass off to bring their lover closer to them in some way. And certainly you will absolutely come out December getting your wish. All right, guys? All right, this is your reading for December. It was pretty straightforward. I love it when it's like that. Capricorn, you know how much I adore you. If you enjoyed this reading, please like, subscribe, and share. All of that helps me grow my channel. Leave me a comment as well. I do reply to all my comments. But for right now, Capricorn, have a wonderful December, and I'll see you middle of the month for the mid-month love check-in. Bye-bye now.